Good to see everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces. Hello, hello, hello. Um, let's talk about the 2025 Ohio Problem Gambling Conference. So if you don't know me, my name is Claire Spada. I am the Director of Workforce Development at PGNO. And Leonte, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I think I've touched base with most of you all in the chat, but if you have not, I am the new program manager at PGNO.
Okay, so we're going to be tag teaming today. So, what we're going to be chatting with you all about and giving you some information on is the process and what you're seeing up on the screen, basically. Talking about things like registration, scholarship opportunities, hotel details, CEUs and logistics, good things to know. Different ways that you can engage at the conference, as well as talking a little bit more about our app that we utilize, which is called Whova. We'll take a look at the agenda and kind of where things are going to be located this year, as well as what to expect upon arrival and ways that you can support PGNO throughout this process. So we will allow some time for Q&A, and I will say that if you have questions or are looking for things throughout the presentation, throw them in the chat. We're happy to answer those along the way. So I will say, Leonte, I thought I had notes somewhere, and of course, in my rush, I can't see them. Are you able to, feel like I'm being so unprofessional right now by not knowing what in the world is happening. I'm going to have you cover these first couple of slides.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the names on the bottom. It was yours, but I can cover it.
Okay, go ahead, because
Uh,
I'm trying to
no.
figure out what is going on with my computer.
Oh, yeah, I'll take over. Okay, I'll take over. So, again, I'm looking at most of the names. Most of you have registered. Registration is now open. The duration will be 2 days. So it'll take place from January 29th to January 30th. And Wednesday it'll run from 8:30 a.m. to about 4:15. And on Thursday it'll run from 8:30 to about 3:30. And registration cost. So you can get a full conference admission for $175, or you can purchase a single day admission pass for $125. We do have a pay now and pay later option. Pay later being like you can be invoiced. So a lot of people who work for organizations almost like the invoice option, and they can pay on your behalf after the fact or at their earliest convenience by the deadline.
Yes, and I will say that registration will continue to be open up until the conference. So if you know somebody that has not gotten yet registered, we do have plenty of space open because we're in a larger ballroom. We have a little bit of an overflow space for that. So we anticipate that we'll take folks up to the conference, although of course the earlier the better because it makes it a little bit easier on us. So if you do know coworkers or colleagues that are not yet registered, please encourage them to do so as soon as possible.
And every year, so I'm going to jump to the scholarships piece. Every year, PGNO offers 10 scholarships for individuals in recovery or a family member who is currently in recovery from gambling disorder to attend that conference. Just the heads up, recovery scholarships are at full capacity and the wait list is in effect. So if someone does have interest in that, just giving you that notice that all 10 scholarships are currently accounted for, but you feel free to join that wait list and reach out if that's something that you have interest in, and we can get you placed there. Another scholarship opportunity is provided by the Ohio Coaching and Mentoring Network, or OCAM. These are prevention scholarships. This one is a little bit more specific in terms of who should apply. Prevention professionals with OCPSA, OCPS, or OCPC certifications. There are currently 7 more scholarships available for prevention scholarships. The deadline for that is tomorrow, though. So if you or anyone you know are interested and would like to learn more, you can visit the website with the link on the bottom left-hand corner. Please feel free to spread that word and let them know that the deadline is tomorrow.
Yes, and I will say that's really great, specifically because with these 2 scholarship opportunities, it does cover things like hotel and registration, but it also covers per diem meals. So anything that's not covered by our conference. So if they're staying the night and they need dinner in the evenings, that is covered as well as mileage. So if their agency is not able to afford to send them, a prevention scholarship is really great for somebody who has that certification.
Thanks, Claire, for that.
So when it comes to hotel, we are going to be back at Nationwide Hotel and Conference Center. So for those of you who have been to our conference before, we're back at our same location. And we do have a block rate of $145 per night. And that is going to be taking place up through Monday, December 30th. So if you've not yet booked your hotel, you'll probably be hearing from Amanda, who is on our team. Probably, if you haven't heard from her, you might have heard from her recently. She'll be kind of being like, hey, nudge, nudge, make sure you get your hotel booked if you need that, because after December 30th, that hotel discount, that block rate will not be in effect. I will tell you that in the past we have booked up before, and I think that we're getting pretty close to filling up that spot. So I will say that if you have not yet booked your hotel, again, I would recommend you do that sooner than later, knowing that we're getting a little bit short on those spaces that are available. And if you are interested in staying the night at Nationwide, you can call their phone number. There is a group code that you'll need to give them, or if you go to pgnohio.org/conference, there is a clickable link and it takes you right to their webpage with the group code already put in there. So it's a little bit easier to do in that perspective, but you can do it either way. We definitely encourage you to get yourself a space.
CEU. So I'll jump in. So at the 2025 Ohio Problem Gambling Conference, you have the opportunity to earn up to 11.25 CEUs, and those will be provided through the 4 different departments. First one being the Ohio Chemical Dependency Professionals Board, Counselor Social Work, Marriage, and Family Therapist Board, the International Problem Gambling and Gaming Certification Organization, and the Ohio State Board of Psychology. So those will be the 4 departments that CEUs will be coming from.
And I will share that if you're like, what the heck is the International Problem Gambling and Gaming Certification Organization? They made a name change recently. So if you're like, I've heard of the International Gambling Counselor Certification Board, so IGCCB, they're changing their name January 1st. So this is the new name, is the International Problem Gambling and Gaming Certification Organization. So we're still sponsors through IGCCB, which will become IPGG. I don't know what their new letters are. It's going to be one of those things, a variety of those letters that are up on the screen. So after January 1st, you'll start to see that on all of our certificates for all of our trainings. But if you have your ICGC 1 or 2, then you'll be able to get hours for that. So in terms of some logistics for this coming year, we do have a couple of changes. So we are going to be, we'll show you in a map here in a second, we are going to be in our larger breakout space, larger ballroom space, and there's going to be construction. So the great thing, what we love about Nationwide is that their space is really fantastic, their food is really great. And they are looking at doing a little bit of a facelift for some of their rooms and things like that. Because of that, construction is going to be actively in the heart of it. We're going to be in the middle of it when we are there. And because of that, there are going to be some hallways that are going to be closed off that have typically been open. So we will show you in a second where that construction will be taking place. And because of the construction, we have opted this year to move our registration table. So last year, if you came to conference, we had our registration in front of the main ballroom. We're going to be moving it back to the old study to start out there and have the registration table there. If you're like, what the heck are you talking about? After this slide, you'll see a map, and I'll show you where everything's going to be. A couple of additional ways to engage that we're also going to highlight on our map, so you kind of have an idea of where those things might be taking place. One super cool opportunity that we're really excited for is Hollywood Casino or Racino out in Mahoning Valley has they've actually been putting together a responsible gambling escape room. We are really, really excited because this will be a great opportunity for all of our attendees, if you are interested, to get together with some of your your besties across the state and say, hey, how cool would it be for us to go and do this escape room together? Maybe meet some new friends, try it out. So we are going to have that opportunity available for people to sign up with other folks to try that out and see if you can escape. As we've done in many, many years past, we will continue to offer no-cost professional headshots. We're really excited because this year we are hiring a we actually have been partnering with a videographer and a photographer. So the headshots we anticipate this year will be definitely a professional quality. So looking forward to providing that again for attendees. We'll take those at the conference, and then in the coming weeks after the conference, we will email those to you so you can use them for whatever reason you'd like to. This year, we're adding another fun thing, and that is a photo scavenger hunt. So last year, if you came to the conference, I'm sure you saw lots of people loving to take photos, sharing those through the Whova app. This year, we'll have an opportunity for you to kind of look through some cool opportunities and add some additional photos to that photo part of the app and be able to kind of check out and see what other people are doing and things like that. Just another way to engage. Additionally, we are also going to start offering this year an exhibitor passport experience as well. So I will say that some of this is a little bit TBD. So it might be a stamp, it might be a punch code, it might be a signature. So if you visit all of our exhibitors and you have a little conversation and you get them to say that you came and visited them and you accomplish all that, there will be some sort of little goodie that you'll get at the end for going and having conversations with all of our exhibitors. The final way that is another really great way to engage is our open recovery meetings that we hold. These are held in the mornings before the conference begins. They are there first and foremost to support our friends in recovery that are attending the conference that might need a little bit of additional support because some of the conversations could potentially be triggering throughout the day, and we want to make sure that they feel supported. However, they are open recovery meetings, meaning that if you're a professional who's like, I'm really interested to see what a recovery meeting might look like, you are encouraged and more than welcome to hop in and sit and observe and ask questions and have conversations during that meeting to kind of see what that might look like as well. Okay. As promised, nope. Get out of here. All right, there we go. Clicking too many things. So as promised, a little bit of a map for you all who's like, what's happening? This space here is actually where all of our main large sessions will take place. Last year, we had registration here. Because of this wonderful construction that is blocking us right in front of the courtyard and between this main hallway, we are opting to do registration here in the study. So when you arrive, you'll park here. You'll walk past the main entrance. So this is the hotel. This is the conference room. You'll walk past that down to the second entrance. There is a door here. You'll walk through, you'll see registration tables here in the study. Because this construction will likely have this space blocked off, what you would then do is you would actually go through, there should be a little break here in this map, but there's not, it's a little hallway. So you walk through here. This pre-function area is where all of our exhibitor tables will be spaced out. So you'll be able to walk through, see all of our exhibitor tables. And then likely what we'll be working with nationwide is there is a door that opens up from the courtyard on the left side and a door that opens up on the right side. So you will walk in, you'll do your registration, you'll walk in, you'll see all the lovely exhibitors, and then you'll actually walk through the courtyard to get to the main ballroom space. So that is where all of those kinds of different things will be taking place. In addition, what you'll notice here in a couple of slides is that because we're utilizing North Point Ballroom 1, as well as some of the grand ballroom spaces as breakout sessions, the escape room here is in Oak 3. So everything will hopefully flow fairly well. It just might be a little bit clunky when it comes to the courtyard space. But knowing that next year when we come back, things will be even bigger and better, and the construction will make things even more beautiful. I believe that they're actually taking these Sycamore spaces and turning it into one much larger space. So that'll be interesting to see how that looks next year.
All right, I'll jump into Hoover app utilization. Hope that map wasn't too confusing. I'm not a map person, so Claire helped me a lot. But so for Hoover app, we'll use that for agenda and updates. You'll be able to access the full event, like real-time schedule updates or any session details. You'll want to make sure you have that on hand. I don't anticipate any last minute changes, but it'll be useful for that. Update your speaker profile. I've gotten some emails just even on this meeting and some people like updating their profiles as we're on here. So yes, please utilize that to update your bio, speaker information, headshot if you would like. There's also interactive features. So for you to participate in those interactive polls like Top Hat, or I know a lot of different conferences and things like that have those. There's the map. So the map that Claire just showed you, I don't think it will be that specific, but there will be a map for you to utilize to as you navigate through the conference. And then session check-ins is a big one. You'll want to use Hoover to check in for all sessions, including breakout events, that is what will be the reference, especially for like CEUs and stuff, making sure that you're being checked in to all the sessions. And evaluations, completing your session evaluations directly in the app for CEU credits. And Claire can correct me, I believe there's a hard copy option. I don't think that's being pushed. Majority of those will be completed through the app. I'll jump into the agenda for day one. So we'll kick off at about 7:30. So for about an hour from 7:30 to 8:30. During that time, registration, open recovery meeting and breakfast will be taking place. Open recovery meeting is just, it's a nice and inclusive space, as Claire was saying, for those who currently are in recovery and may just need some time apart, some time to reset. So that'll be taking place during that time. And breakfast will also be available, and make sure you're getting registered. From there at 8:30, Derek, our executive director here at PGNO, will start with opening remarks. That'll run till 9 o'clock. And from 9 to 10, our first keynote speaker and recovery advocate, Rob Minnick, he'll be giving his keynote session on the intersection of lived experience and clinical work. Just a little bit of his background through his lived experience. And then from 10 to 10:15, we'll have a networking break and exhibitor tables for you to be able to go around and learn more about those problem gambling resources. And then I'll move to the right side of the screen. So the first half of the day, we'll have two breakout sessions. So at 10:15 to 11:45, we'll have breakout session A. So that'll run for an hour and a half. And then from 11:45 to 1, we'll have lunch. That escape room that Claire was talking about, there will be some blocks for escape room to potentially be offered during that time. So just keep that in mind. And then promptly at 1 o'clock, breakout session B will start. So that will still begin promptly at 1, and that'll run from 1 to 2:30. From 2:30 to 2:45 is another networking break and exhibitor tables opportunity. And then we'll close out from 2:45 to 4:15 with breakout session C. Here are the four. Each breakout session will have 4 groups. I'll run through breakout session A. That'll run from 10:15 a.m. to 11:45. So the 4 groups are presented by Nick and Caitlin Phillips. So there's More Than a Bet, Ohio's new campaign to address the impact of sports betting on college athletes. I should say Nick F. I couldn't pronounce his last name, and Caitlin. They don't have the same last name. And then Assessing Youth Gambling, a discovery workshop that'll be presented by Christina Latta Landfield, August Browning, and Madison Noble. We have Touchpoint for Recovery, Why Finances Matter So Much in Disordered Gambling. That'll be presented by Janice Pierce, and all of her credentials to follow. Treatment, and then we have Treatment Considerations for Gambling Disorder and ADHD. And we have Megan Poliquin, who will be presenting that breakout session. We're running into breakout session B. That'll be from 1 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Our keynote speaker, Rob Minnick, again, being that recovery advocate, he's going to discuss how he utilizes the power of social media to spread information about mental health awareness and I believe just recovery in general. Claire, you can correct me, but I've took a peek at some of his content. And then I'll jump into the next session. Megan Poliquin, this time she will be partnering with Allison Huss and Aubrey Price from Zep Center, and they'll be presenting We'll See You at the Game, Problem Gambling Outreach at College Sporting Events. Jennifer Grant and Christopher Floyd will be presenting Understanding and Addressing Barriers to Treatment Seeking. And then the last one for session B will be presented by PGNO's own Jesse Wadrig and Mike Rosen. And they'll be doing Developing Clinical Supervision Skills, Counselor Development. And the last breakout session for day one is going to be breakout session C. From 2:45 to 4:15, Dr. Heather Chapman will be one of the breakout sessions, and she'll be covering current events in gambling treatment. Nan Franks and James Foreman from GAMBAN will be presenting a breakout session on supporting problem gambling prevention, treatment, and recovery. Janet Thode and Abdullah Mahmood will be doing Vulnerable to Addiction, Gambling's Impact on Marginalized Populations. And again, another PGNO zone, Claire Spada and Corey Brown will partner to do sports betting, advertising, and media literacy.
Okay, so that is day one. Day two, what can you expect? So as you can see here, we have a very similar structure to kind of how it takes place on day one. So you'll have registration that's open starting at 7:30. That is when that open recovery meeting will run once again, and we have breakfast taking place during that time as well. We will kick off the morning at 8:30 a.m. once again with some opening remarks from myself. And then our keynote speaker the morning of day two is Dr. Stephanie Diaz-Morel. She is from Penn West University, Edinburgh, and she's going to be talking about utilizing the brain disease model of addiction for gambling and gaming treatment. We'll have a quick 15-minute networking break, and then we will have one final round of breakout sessions for you to select from. We will have an hour and 15-minute lunch. There will also be some escape room times during that time. We are also looking at offering some escape room times during the morning as well. So while registration is taking place, there will be some space for that. And then in the afternoon, to wrap us up, we are going to have a state of the state where you'll get a chance to hear from the Ohio Casino Control Commission, the Ohio Lottery Commission, and the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services as executive directors. They will do a speech that runs for about 5 minutes or so. You'll get to hear from each of them. And then we're actually going to be opening up for a Q&A live from the audience. We'll be able to put questions into the Whova app and be able to ask some of the deputy directors and managers some additional follow-up questions. So if you're curious about how our funding is utilized in the state for prevention and treatment, or what kind of programs are being offered, those kinds of things will actually be asked to them on the spot. So we'll have some of that time and opportunity for you all to interact and get your questions answered from them. We'll have one final break, which will lead us into our wrap up for the entire conference. Corey Brown from the Casino Control Commission will be talking on the power of progress, uniting voices in problem gambling services. When we look at those 4 breakout session options, the 4 options that you'll have to select from in the morning are Dr. Stephanie will be doing a breakout session on prevention approaches to youth gaming, gambling, and internet use. Michelle and Kirsty are going to be doing one on what are the odds, formats, roles in betting risk decisions. Cindy Cheswick is going to be doing one on the intersection of problem gambling and human trafficking, recognizing vulnerabilities and enhancing support systems. And then finally, Jesse and Abdullah will be back again doing one on clinical challenges and implications in addressing the online gambling experience. As promised, one final look at the map to kind of showcase where things are. And I will say again, if you're like, I've never been there, I can't visualize this, that's okay. As Leonte mentioned, there will be a map, we will have signs, there will be directions, we will have staff directing you where to go. So the main ballroom is this entire pinkish space here in that background. When we break for breakout rooms, as I'm sure you noticed, there are 4 options each time. So there will be air walls that will actually be going up during each of those networking breaks. So Grand Ballroom 4 will host a breakout session. Grand Ballroom 2 will host a breakout session. If you're like, I'm really interested in the North Point ones, what you'll basically do is you'll go through this little hallway here in Grand Ballroom 1, cut across the courtyard, and then you'd go past the exhibiting tables to North Point Ballroom 1 or North Point Ballroom 2. So that is the main spaces that we will be utilizing during our time that is there. So hopefully that gives you at least a little bit of an idea. And if not, we'll point you in the right direction so you get to where you should be going. Leonte, was this you or me?
Thank you, Claire. I was trying to click my mouse, it wasn't going. It is me. So I'll jump back into CEUs a little bit. How do you receive CEUs for attending the
Oh,
conference?
hold on. I think you skipped a slide.
Oh, upon conference, right? Oh, that is you then.
Oh, okay. JK. All right. So in terms of showing up, as shared with you all a little bit, you do need to stop at the registration table. And I will share with you that you do need to stop each morning because what we'll do is we'll actually scan your name tag to basically sign you in for that session. So that way you can get CEUs and we can know that you're present for the day. So please make sure you stop at that registration table. In the study, you will get a name badge that does have a QR code on it. So anytime that you go into a session, you'll be asked to probably get your name tag scanned. So that will be required to get into the different sessions. So that way we can make sure you get those CEUs. And then when it comes to the conference schedule, as Leonte mentioned, but just again, just to make it clear, most of our access to the agenda is actually going to be on the Whova app. It's all interactive. However, if you're like, I don't like apps on my phone, I'm not really big about all that, we will have some printed copies. So that way, if you really want to have that handheld piece, you're more than welcome to take one. However, I will say that last year, I think we had most folks use the app and it's pretty user friendly. It's pretty easy to check out things. So we will have both available just in case you need it.
I'll jump back. Thank you. I'll lead into those CEUs now. So for CEUs, like Claire was saying, making sure you're checking in with volunteers or just PGNO staff at the beginning of each session, making sure that they're scanning that code for attendance. Completing your session evaluations is extremely important as well. Those will be available in the Whova app. And again, that hard copy option, I know you'll want to complete those after each breakout session, just to probably make sure you're squaring those away. And then CEU certificates, those will be distributed within 30 days of the conference, just giving us some time to circle back, come back together and be able to get everything together to be able to mail those out efficiently and correctly. So making sure that we have all the information, if anyone missed anything or had any further questions, but we'll be sure to get those out to you within 30 days. And then I'm going to talk about some ways to support PGNO through sponsorship. PGNO does have 4 levels of sponsorship. We want to start by saying, 1, none of this will be possible without them. I really appreciate all of the efforts, of course, and funds that they've donated for us to be able to put this on. So I'll run through our premier sponsors, our highest level of sponsorship. Our premier sponsors are DraftKings, MGM Resorts International, and Penn Entertainment. Our gold sponsors being BetMGM, Caesars Entertainment, FanDuel, Jack Entertainment, Hard Rock Cincinnati, Ohio for Responsible Gambling, and Ohio Lottery Commission. Thank you to our silver sponsors, Center for Addiction Treatment, Miami Valley Gaming, and Ohio Peer Recovery Organization. And then I'll close with our bronze sponsors. Oh, we have one more. Bronze sponsors, Belterra Park Cincinnati. We have IGT, Prevention First, and Recovery Resources. And then our networking break sponsor for some of those networking breaks that we noticed in the agenda. Those were provided by FanDuel and Gambit. If interested in becoming a PGNO sponsor, please reach out to our engagement manager, Josh. His email is listed here for more information. And then I'll jump into our exhibitors. Here are our confirmed exhibitors for the 2025 Ohio Problem Gambling Conference. We have Captive Content, GameFin, Maryhaven, Meridian Healthcare, Ohio Department of Insurance, Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office, Ohio Lottery Commission, Ohio for Responsible Gambling, Problem Gambling Prevention and Treatment Coalition of Southwest Ohio, Prevention Action Alliance, and Recovery Resources. Again, for all exhibitor or sponsorship opportunity or inquiries, please reach out to Josh's email. I see Claire through that in the chat.
Yes, and I will share that you can see we have a great list of exhibitors. We do still have 2 spots left. So if you have an organization that would like to be present and have an exhibitor spot, especially knowing that everyone's going to be coming and flocking to you, wanting to get you to sign off on it, and maybe take some pictures with you. It's a great opportunity just to connect with folks across the state.
For sure.
So, and at that point, if anybody has any questions, is there anything that was not touched upon? Are there things that you're curious about or would like to know more about? Feel free to either throw in the chat or unmute yourself. And I will just share as you're maybe thinking about what maybe you're missing or what else could be helpful for you. Very cool thing, and why one reason I think why we really love Whova is because everything's so interactive and it all talks to each other. So all of those breakout sessions that you looked at, we gave you titles, we gave you speakers. If you're like, tell me more about who this speaker is or what the session's going to be on, you can actually go right on our website right now, pgnohio.org/conference, and scroll down to the agenda and actually click through and start reading through descriptions. You can start reading through speaker bios. So if you're like a type A, I need to plan out where I'm going, you are more than welcome to check all that out right now and start making some of those preemptive decisions and start thinking about which ones you might be interested in. So definitely checking out those things is something I would recommend if you really want to pre-plan. And Cindy, I think that are you referring to some of the speaker stuffs for your presentation? So Leonte will be reaching out a little bit more on that, as well as Amanda on our team. I know that your PowerPoints are going to be due to us, I believe, January 6th. So
Yes. The beginning of January, PowerPoints are due. Sorry, just to jump in. But yeah, we'll definitely be sending out more information. But yes, Cindy, you're absolutely correct. The beginning of January, PowerPoints are due.
yeah, and I will say that if there is any sort of changes to the conference and kind of what we've shared today, we will make sure that we communicate with that with you. Of course, because our conference is taking place a couple of weeks earlier than normal, January 29th and 30th. Who knows what the weather will look like, right? I mean, are we going to have 50-degree days or 10-degree days? I don't know. Will we have snow? Will we not? Anything that might need to be adapted or changed, we will make sure that we communicate. But we will be there, rain, shine, snow, any of those cases, and make sure that we have anything planned as needed to make any adaptations. So along the way, if you do have questions, please feel free to reach out. Both Leonte and my information is up here. So if you're missing something, if you're like, I'm speaking, or I have a table, or I have, I'm an attendee and I don't know if I got all my folks registered, please reach out to one of us and we can make sure we get you those answers. So I will say I appreciate all the listening and the conversation and the grace that you gave me at the beginning. I will share that we have recorded this session and this is going to be uploaded onto our YouTube page. So again, if you have colleagues and they're like, what did I miss? You don't have to recap. You can be like, here's going to be a link that we can just forward over to somebody else if they want to get the inside scoop. So that will go up on our YouTube page. We will make sure that we send this out to you when we have that, but we appreciate you all taking the time to chat with us today and look forward to seeing you all at the conference. Awesome. Thanks, Janice. Bye, everybody.